The Journey of Siddhartha Gautama. The Buddha's Path to Enlightenment. Have you ever felt like something was missing in life? A sense that there's more to existence than what meets the eye? Over 2,500 years ago, a man named Siddhartha Gautama embarked on a journey to uncover the truth behind these questions. His journey transformed him into the Buddha, the Enlightened One, whose teachings continue to inspire millions worldwide. Born a prince in the small kingdom of Lumbini, Siddhartha's early life was one of privilege and opulence. His father, King Shuddhodana, shielded him from the harsh realities of life, creating a world of comfort and luxury within the palace walls. Surrounded by wealth, Siddhartha excelled in philosophy, martial arts, and leadership. He married Princess Yasodhara, and together they had a son, Rahula. To outsiders, his life seemed perfect, but deep inside, Siddhartha felt a growing emptiness, a sense that true happiness lay beyond the palace gates. This feeling intensified when, as a young man, Siddhartha ventured beyond the palace walls and encountered 4 sights that changed his life forever. He saw an old man, frail and bent with age, a sick man writhing in pain, and a corpse, stark reminders of life's impermanence. Finally, he met an ascetic, a man who had renounced worldly life in pursuit of spiritual truth. These encounters revealed to Siddhartha the inevitability of suffering and inspired his resolve to seek a path to liberation, not just for himself, but for all beings. One night, Siddhartha made a fateful decision. He kissed his sleeping wife and son goodbye, left the palace, and renounced his royal life. Clad in simple robes, he embarked on a journey as a wandering seeker. He studied under the most renowned spiritual teachers of his time and mastered their techniques, yet he found their teachings incomplete. Determined to go further, Siddhartha joined a group of ascetics who practiced extreme self-denial, believing it would lead to enlightenment. For years, he pushed his body to its limits, surviving on a single grain of rice or a handful of nuts daily. His skeletal frame and weakened state symbolized his relentless quest, but enlightenment still eluded him. Eventually, Siddhartha realized that both extremes, indulgence in luxury and self-mortification, were futile. He resolved to follow a balanced approach, later called the middle way. Nourished by a bowl of rice milk offered by a village girl, he regained his strength and made his way to a quiet grove near Bodh Gaya. There, under a Bodhi tree, Siddhartha vowed not to move until he discovered the truth that ended suffering. As he meditated, Siddhartha faced his inner and outer obstacles, personified by Mara, the demon of illusion and desire. Mara tempted him with visions of wealth, power, and sensual pleasure, but Siddhartha remained unmoved. Mara unleashed storms and doubts, yet Siddhartha's resolve was unshaken. In a decisive moment, he touched the earth, calling it to witness his right to seek enlightenment. The ground trembled, and Mara retreated. Through the night, Siddhartha delved deeper into meditation, gaining profound insights. He understood the cycle of birth, death, and rebirth, samsara, the law of karma, and the roots of suffering, ignorance, and desire. As dawn broke, Siddhartha attained enlightenment. He became the Buddha, the awakened one. He had discovered the 4 noble truths: suffering exists, it has a cause, it can end, and there is a path, the noble eightfold path that leads to liberation. Enlightenment, however, was only the beginning. The Buddha now faced a pivotal choice: keep his profound realization to himself or share it with others. Despite the difficulty of conveying such subtle truths, the Buddha's compassion prevailed. He resolved to teach, hoping that even a few might benefit. The Buddha's first teaching, delivered at the deer park in Sarnath, introduced the 4 noble truths and the noble eightfold path. These became the foundation of Buddhism, offering a practical guide to overcoming suffering and achieving peace. The Buddha spent the rest of his life sharing this wisdom, emphasizing mindfulness, compassion, and the impermanence of life. Siddhartha Gautama's journey from a restless prince to an enlightened teacher offers timeless lessons. In an age of stress, uncertainty, and attachment to materialism, his path reminds us to seek balance, cultivate awareness, and let go of what no longer serves us. His life and teachings are a testament to the transformative power of inner truth, a journey that continues to inspire millions to this day. The Buddha's teachings and legacy. The Buddha did not stop at identifying suffering and its cause. He taught that suffering could end, the third truth, and that there is a path leading to its cessation, the fourth truth. This path, known as the Noble Eightfold Path, consists of right view, right intention, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentration. It serves as a practical guide to ethical living, mental discipline, and the cultivation of wisdom. For the 5 ascetics who first listened to the Buddha, his words were transformative. Reflecting on their struggles and experiences, they were moved by his explanation of the middle way, the balance between indulgence and self-denial. One of the ascetics, Kondanya, achieved a profound understanding and became the first to attain stream entry, the initial stage of enlightenment. This marked the beginning of the Buddha's success in sharing the path to liberation and the birth of the Buddhist monastic community, Sangha. The Buddha continued teaching tirelessly, traveling from village to village and sharing his wisdom with anyone willing to listen. His teachings were inclusive, welcoming people regardless of caste, gender, or social class. Unlike many religious leaders of his time, the Buddha's message emphasized that liberation was possible for all, whether kings, merchants, beggars, or women. One memorable teaching from this early period is the story of the poisoned arrow. A man struck by a poisoned arrow refused to have it removed until he knew every detail about the attacker. The Buddha used this analogy to illustrate how we often get caught up in trivial distractions instead of addressing the urgent need to overcome suffering and achieve inner peace. The Buddha's ability to touch lives extended beyond intellectual teachings. One striking example is the story of Angulimala, a feared bandit. Angulimala had vowed to kill 1,000 people and wore a gruesome necklace of their fingers. When the Buddha encountered him, he radiated calmness and compassion, speaking to him with kindness. Moved by the encounter, Angulimala renounced violence, joined the Sangha, and transformed his life. This story exemplifies the Buddha's extraordinary ability to see beyond a person's past and guide them toward a new path. Throughout his life, the Buddha used parables and analogies to make profound concepts accessible. He likened the restless human mind to a monkey, constantly swinging from thought to thought, driven by desire and fear. Through mindfulness and meditation, he explained, we can tame this monkey mind, cultivating inner peace and awareness. A central concept in the Buddha's teachings is impermanence, anicca. He emphasized that everything, wealth, youth, relationships, and even life itself, is temporary and ever-changing. Far from inducing despair, this teaching encourages detachment from clinging and fosters an appreciation for the present moment. By understanding impermanence, one can overcome fear and attachment, paving the way to freedom from suffering. Despite his success, the Buddha faced challenges. Some religious leaders and ascetics viewed his popularity as a threat and accused him of undermining traditional beliefs. Even within the Sangha, conflicts arose as the community grew. The Buddha navigated these difficulties with patience and wisdom, emphasizing dialogue, compassion, and adherence to the dharma, teachings. One instance highlights his mastery over anger. When a man insulted him, the Buddha calmly asked, "If someone offers you a gift and you decline it, to whom does it belong?" The man replied, "To the one who offered it." The Buddha then said, "In the same way, I do not accept your insults." This simple response illustrated the power of detachment and self-control. Compassion, karuna, was a cornerstone of the Buddha's teachings. He urged his followers to cultivate empathy and loving kindness, metta, toward all beings. He emphasized that every action, word, and thought should be rooted in compassion and non-harming. This message resonated deeply, inspiring his followers to create a community based on mutual respect and support. For 45 years after his enlightenment, the Buddha wandered across northern India, spreading the Dharma. He welcomed all into the Sangha, emphasizing that enlightenment was accessible to everyone, regardless of social status or past deeds. His teachings laid the foundation for a spiritual tradition dedicated to mindfulness, ethical conduct, and wisdom. After the Buddha's passing at age 80, his teachings continued to flourish. His last words, "All conditioned things are subject to decay. Strive on with diligence," remind us to remain vigilant in our practice and dedicated to the path of liberation. In the centuries that followed, Buddhism spread across Asia and beyond, adapting to diverse cultures while maintaining the essence of the Buddha's teachings, the Four Noble Truths, the Eightfold Path, and the commitment to mindfulness and compassion. Today, the Buddha's message resonates globally, offering timeless guidance for navigating life's challenges with clarity, peace, and purpose. Finding genuine peace and fulfillment in a divided world. In an age marked by division, social media outrage, and political strife, the Buddha's teachings on compassion offer a powerful antidote. True compassion, karuna, as the Buddha taught, arises from recognizing the interconnectedness of all beings and understanding that everyone suffers in some way. Practicing compassion means not only wishing for others to be free from suffering, but also taking meaningful actions that promote kindness, empathy, and understanding. Imagine how different our world could be if more people approached disagreements with empathy instead of anger, or if acts of kindness became the norm rather than the exception. The Buddha's message is clear. Compassion is not just for monks and ascetics. It is a way of being that can transform relationships, communities, and even entire societies. Another profound teaching is the middle way, a path that avoids extremes. In today's polarized world, people often swing from overindulgence to harsh self-denial, whether in their diets, exercise routines, work habits, or personal goals. The middle way reminds us to seek moderation and avoid rigid extremes. By cultivating balance, we create space for growth, inner peace, and lasting fulfillment. The rise of mental health issues such as anxiety and depression highlights the need for practices that help individuals reconnect with themselves. The Buddha's teachings on meditation provide a timeless path to greater self-awareness and self-compassion. Techniques like breath meditation, loving-kindness meditation, and body scans help calm the mind, reduce negative thought patterns, and foster a sense of inner harmony. Despite the hyper-connected nature of modern society, many people feel isolated. The Buddha emphasized the importance of community, sangha, as a source of strength and support. Engaging with like-minded individuals on a spiritual journey provides encouragement and accountability. Whether it's joining a meditation group, attending a Buddhist center, or connecting with others who share similar values, community can help us remain grounded during challenging times. The Buddha's teachings remind us that true transformation begins within. By cultivating mindfulness, compassion, and non-attachment, we can change not only ourselves, but also the world around us. His wisdom offers a timeless guide to finding peace and genuine fulfillment amid modern struggles. As we incorporate these practices into our lives, we honor the legacy of a seeker who dedicated his life to ending suffering and awakening the potential within us all. Siddhartha Gautama's journey, a timeless legacy. The journey of Siddhartha Gautama, from a sheltered prince to the Buddha, a spiritual teacher revered worldwide, is one of profound transformation and wisdom. His life reminds us that while suffering is a universal human experience, it is neither inevitable nor permanent. By understanding its causes and embracing a path leading to inner peace, we can free ourselves from cycles of craving, dissatisfaction, and despair. The Buddha's teachings are not relics of the past. They are timeless truths that continue to illuminate the way forward. Through mindfulness, we learn to be fully present and find peace in each moment, no matter how chaotic life may seem. By practicing non-attachment, we let go of what we cannot control and discover a deep, unshakable contentment. Through compassion, we bridge divides, heal wounds, and recognize our shared humanity. In a world filled with distractions, fear, and division, the Buddha's insights offer a lifeline. They invite us to step back, observe, and respond with wisdom rather than react impulsively. His message is not about escaping the world, but about transforming how we live within it. The middle way, mindfulness and compassion, are not just ideals. They are practical tools for navigating life's challenges. Think for a moment about your own life. What are the sources of your suffering? Is it anxiety about the future, attachment to things that no longer serve you, or perhaps a sense of disconnection? The Buddha taught that by turning inward and understanding our minds and behaviors, we can create real and lasting change. It doesn't require grand gestures or dramatic transformations. Often, the most profound shifts come from simple, consistent acts of self-awareness and kindness. As you reflect on the life and teachings of the Buddha, consider what small steps you can take today to cultivate more mindfulness, compassion, or non-attachment. Whether it's pausing for a few moments of meditation, showing kindness to someone in need, or simply being present, each act can lead to transformation. If you found this exploration of the Buddha's life and teachings meaningful, consider sharing it with others. Together, we can create a ripple of awareness and compassion that extends far beyond this moment. The Buddha once said, "No one saves us but ourselves. No one can and no one may. We must walk the path." As we continue our journeys, may we walk the path with courage, mindfulness, and compassion, bringing light to ourselves and those around us.